Hi, my dear students. So this is Raju sir, subject of commerce. In this class today, we discuss about the types of accounts. In the last classes, we discussed about some accounting systems to record the accounting transactions in the books of accounts. So we discussed in the last sessions. Now in this session, we are going to discuss about the classification or the types of accounts according to double entry system. So this is the basic information which is to be required all the commerce students in your further education also. This is to be base which is important for your further education of any commerce related courses. So now let's move to the topic now in accountancy of 11th commerce. Accountancy. Okay. In 11th, the topic is going to discuss today is going to be types of or classification of accounts. Classification or types of accounts. So this is the most important basic to construct the building of the commerce and accountancy in accountancy books. Okay, any businessman or an accountant has to know about these basics properly while he is going to maintain any accounts in their concerned businesses. So that's why as an accountant, as a commerce student, everyone has to know about these basics properly. These are the basic principles and basic concept of accounting. Okay, so we already discussed it in the last classes. Actually, we have the two types of the systems to record the accounting transactions in the accountancy books, as these are to be called as one is single entry system. One is the single entry system. Second one is double entry system. Double entry system. Okay, right. So already we discussed the meaning of these two systems regarding to these two systems in the last sessions properly. Okay, let me explain briefly about these two systems again in this session. Right. Single entry system, which means the system which records only the one aspect of the business transactions. One aspect of the business transaction is been called as the single entry system. Actually, single entry means in accountancy books either record debit or credit, any one only. Either the accountant or the businessman record only either debit or credit aspect in accountancy, in account books of the businessman, means he is following the system of single entry system. Means the single entry system is also known as incomplete in scientific system. Why? Because this is been called as incomplete. Why? Because it has been recorded only either debit or credit only. And in scientific system, why it is been called as the in scientific system? Because of the single entry system is doesn't follow the any principles. That's why the single entry system is also known as is the incomplete and in scientific system. So if any businessman is followed this system, actually he may not be get the clear picture and clear results of the business properly. So that is about single entry system. Now let's move to the double entry system. Yes, according to double entry system, actually this is also system is known as complete and scientific system, because of in this, according to double entry system, every transaction of the business is been recorded twice, debit and credit, debit and credit. So according to double entry system, the accountancy books records debit and credit, the both aspects of the transactions in the books of accounts. That's why the double entry system is also known as complete and scientific system. Complete, why we are calling complete here? Because of recording debit aspect and credit aspect in the books of accounts. That's why the double entry system is been called as actually complete system, and also is been called as scientific system because of the double entry system is based on some principles. Okay, some principles. So these principles, regarding to these principles, we are going to discuss in this session now. Okay, yes, I hope you students, all of you know about these two systems properly. Okay, let's move to the classification or types of accounts under the double entry system. Right. So what is the accounts types here? Let's see. According to double entry system, the accounts are classified. The accounts are classified three types. Right. According to double entry system, the accounts are classified three types. They are the first one is been called as personal account. Personal accounts. Yes. According to double entry system, the total accounts are been classified here three types. In these, the first one is the personal account. So what is the meaning of personal account here? It's very simple. Okay, na? The definition of personal account here, the accounts which are related, the accounts which are related to the persons or individuals is known as personal accounts. Okay, so while we are opening the personal accounts on the name of the persons, yes, the persons are very important to the business. The businessman has to open some accounts on the persons. Okay, now in our daily routine, the transactions of the business, the businessman or an accountant has to maintain some accounts on the name of the persons. Okay, right. According to the commerce or accountancy point of view, the persons has been divided again the three types. Yes, persons are three types. Yes. A, natural persons. B, artificial persons. Three, representative persons. Right. Natural, artificial, representative. Okay, so give some example on these three persons properly. Okay, na? Natural persons means we all are natural persons. The businessman or an accountant has to open some account on the natural persons, like, yes, we give some example of Ram, Robert, Rahim. So any individuals or etc. Any individuals are part of the natural persons only. Artificial persons, banks, companies, etc. Educational institutions, all the business organizations, all the banking sectors, all the educational institutions. These all are part of the artificial persons. Okay, these also persons, but which is managed by the natural persons. These also considered as artificial persons, like the banks, companies, educational institutions. These all are to be part of artificial persons. So representative persons, I am giving the two examples are here, capital and drawings, etc. So what is the meaning of capital and drawings here? Okay, let me explain now. Capital means the amount which is invested by the owner for starting the business. Yes, the owner has to bring some amount for starting the business. The amount which is brought by the owner for starting the business is being called as the capital. Okay, so means the capital is given by the owner. On the name of owner in the accountancy books, we should write on the name of capital behalf on the owner. So in the owner's place, yes, we have to record the transaction. While the owner has been giving the amount to the business, and while he withdraws some amount from the business, have to record in accountancy books properly. So here capital is the amount which is given by the owner for starting the business or running the business. Now, this is the situation in accountancy book, we should write capital. We have to use the term of capital. Drawings means personal uses of the owner. Yes, in any situation, if the owner utilized or taken cash or goods, anything from the business for his personal is been called as drawings. So we should write the term of drawings in accountancy books when the owner using some cash or goods for his personal uses. So here, the capital drawings also representative persons, representative behalf on the owner. That's why the capital and drawings to be considered as, taken as under representative persons. Yes. Next, every account has here some proper principle. Yes, we already discussed the beginning of the class. Every account actually has been carrying some principles here. Okay, now this is the basic principles, basic principles of accountancy. With these principles only, we can construct the process of accounting properly in further classes. Okay, further topic anything regarding to accountancy, it is been depending on this proper principles only. So these are the basic principles which is been constructing the process of accounting in further. Let's see. So here, personal account principle. Yes, principle of personal account here. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Credit the giver. How these principles are to be applicable in business transactions, we are going to be discussing in the next classes. How these principles are to be useful to record the transactions of the business in accountancy books, how it can be applied. So we discuss in the further classes. Okay, as my dear students, I hope you understand this personal account properly. As let's we move to the second account here, real account. Yes, the next account according to double entry system is been real account. Yes, yes. What is the meaning of real account here? Let's see. The accounts which are related to the assets is known as real account. Real accounts. Yes, assets are two types. Assets are two types. They are, first one, tangible assets. Tangible assets. Second one, intangible assets. Intangible assets. Right. So the real account properly belongs to the assets only. Yes, we know the meaning of assets. We discussed it in the last sessions while we are discussing about some accounting terms, accounting terminology. The asset is also we discussed in the last classes. Asset means that actually the asset is the property which gives some long-term benefit to the business. Long-term benefit to the business is been called as the asset. Okay, right. The real account is properly belongs to the assets only. These assets again classified into two types, tangible and intangible assets. Yes, let me take some example on this tangible and intangible assets now. Let's see. Tangible assets example are, yes, plenty of examples are there. Just I am taking now 2 or 3 examples are properly here. Land, buildings, yes, machinery, furniture, cash, etc. So these all are tangible. Tangible means which we can see, which we can touch, which we can feel, and which we can use directly. These all assets are to be properly called as tangible assets. Land, buildings, machinery, furniture, cash, these all are to be properly tangible assets. Then intangible. Intangible means which we cannot see but has some value, reputation in the public. This has been goodwill, copyrights, patents, etc. Goodwill is been called as the reputation of the business. Okay, name and prestige of the business is been called as goodwill. Copyrights is also intangible assets. Some of the authors, music directors who have given the rights to copy to someone and for earning the money. That's why copyrights is also one of the property and assets which is been useful for earning the money. Patent means the manufacturing rights which is given by someone to some others for earning the money. Means these all are invisible but possible to earn some money. That's why this kind of assets also called as intangible assets, which we can't see but possible to earn some profits and money. Okay. So same through this real account is also following some principle here as principle of real account here. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Credit what goes out. This is the basic principle of the real account. Okay, this principle also how it can be applied, we discuss in the further classes. Okay, right, we move to the last account, the nominal account. Yes, my dear student, this is the last account we are going to be discussed according to double entry system, that is been called as nominal account. What is the meaning of nominal account here? Let's see. The accounts which are related to the expenses, comma, losses, comma, incomes, comma, profits is known as nominal accounts. As in the business, as to the business, expenses, losses, incomes, profits are part of the business. As in a daily, for maintenance of the, for manage the business, we have to pay it's include number of expenses, and losses also part of the business, incomes and profits also part of the business. These all has been comes under to the nominal account. Okay, the accountant to be record these all expenses, losses, profits and incomes under the nominal account. Okay, what are the expenses and income, losses? So we take some example on each and every term here. Expenses, B, losses, C, incomes, D, profits. Yes, we divided for now expenses, losses, incomes, profits. Let me take some example. As expenses is salaries, comma, rent, etc. Number of expenses are to be part of the business. Okay, but for explaining this, just I am taking only the two examples are properly. Salaries and rent is the examples for expenses. Losses, bad debts, depreciation. As bad debts means the amount which is irrecoverable from the debtors. As we have to know the meaning of debtors. Debtors means an amount owed from the customers. Owed from the customers is known as debtors. Owe means due. So any amount due from the customers to be called as debtors. In these debtors, if anyone is bad means if any debtor is not paid the amount properly due to his financial position, in an insufficient position to pay the money, these debts are to be called as bad debts. The bad debts are, to the business point of view, it has been lost. Depreciation means when the fixed assets are using properly, regularly, the fixed assets may lose its quality, quantity, value. This is been called as depreciation. Okay, we discuss in the further classes the proper meaning of depreciation. Okay, right. So bad debts and depreciation both are to be considered as a losses as per the business point of view. Incomes, received discount or received commission or received interest, etc. So if any businessman received discount, commission or interest is been called as income. Profits means profit on sale of assets or other profits. Right. So nominal account means the accounts which are related to the expenses, losses, incomes and profits is known as nominal account. Expenses, losses, incomes, profits we discussed properly. Same like the last accounts, this one also carrying some principle here, right? The principle of nominal account. So principle of nominal account, debit all the expenses and losses. Expenses and losses. Credit all the incomes and profits. Incomes and profits. Debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and profits is the principle of this nominal account. Okay, my dear students, we discuss about these three accounts along with these principles now. This is the question and the topic which is the basic for your accounting knowledge. Okay, so everyone has to know about these proper principles and also read these principles. After you know about these principles, you can make and you can do any accountancy structure in further classes. Okay, my dear students, I hope you understand this class properly. So read these principles regularly. These are to be very important basics of for the construction of the accounting process in the further. Okay, my dear students, meet you in the next class. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye.